Right, I'm here with Jack Shaw, former UFC contender. I'm not gonna lie, it still really hurts to say former. So talk to me about post-fighting life. How's it feeling?
Yeah, good mate, enjoying life, bit more normal than the life of a pro fighter, but took some adjusting. Obviously, that's all I've ever done since I was 17 years of age, was train twice a day and recover and go back to the gym, fight, 3 months later have another fight. So it took some adjusting, but yeah, enjoying it. Still busy with the gym and stuff. So a year removed from it now, it's sunken in now. I'm adapting to normal life quite well, as they would say.
And how do you reflect on the UFC career in general? Obviously, the last couple fights maybe didn't go your way when you look back on them. The Brazil one still has a bit of a sour taste in the mouth. But how do you reflect on your UFC career?
Just very proud. Really proud of what I achieved. I was in there for 5 years. I think obviously records are meant to be broken and stuff, but I've had more fights in there than any other Welsh guys. Not to slander on them at all, but I'm the most accomplished Welshman in there. I think Brett and me were both ranked 13, so I got ranked. When I'm good at beating run, been in there with even the losses. Like I lost to Zalal. Still proud of the performance. He's fighting tonight against Josh Emmett, so no shame. Very proud of what I've done. Very thankful for the time I had in there, and all good things got to come to an end. And I think my time was up.
And like you say, a year on now, you've been focusing on coaching and obviously fatherhood as well.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the coaching element now. How are you finding all that?
Stressful. It's much easier to, when you're fighting yourself, it's much easier to just look after yourself. Like if I didn't train when I had a fight coming up, it was solely on me. I never had the issue of having people on my case. I always used to put the work in, and I was old enough and experienced enough at the end to know what had to be done. But now, don't get me wrong, Carl and my dad are by far the head coaches, but as an assistant coach, and if you want to call it, I feel like I play the good cop sometimes. They're the bad cops, I'm the good cop. So if anyone wants a little bit of slack, they tend to come to me. But it's hard work sometimes being on everybody's case, and sometimes I'm very good friends with a lot of the guys that I coach, and I'm almost like an older brother to some of them. So it can be hard sometimes to cross that barrier and be like, listen, get your fucking head down and do the work, and be a little bit harsh on them. But I know if I was in their position, that's what I would have wanted, and that's what I had back in the day. Me and Jack Marshman were very similar. He was sort of a good few years in front of me in terms of progress, but if I ever started to slack, he was the first one on my case. You are coming train in the morning, I'll be outside for 9 o'clock. So I like to try and do the same, and they can't really argue with me when I've been there and done it. If I'm telling them they got to do a little bit extra running or a little bit extra training, I think we can argue that I know my stuff when it comes to all that. But I'm enjoying it. It's a different process. It's a different experience. I get just as nervous, if not more nervous, cornering the bigger fights. Like when I cornered Brett a couple of weeks ago, I felt just as nervous walking out behind him as I did when I would walk out for myself sometimes. That was my first taste of a big fight feel in the corner. So plenty to learn, long way to go. But that's the beauty of coaching. It's not as harsh on your body as fighting. You can do it for a little bit longer. I've got good role models. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the journey.
And obviously this will come out after the fights have happened, but obviously tonight we've got a load of your guys fighting. Liam's obviously fighting for a title. Obviously you mentioned brothers literally in a way.
Yeah.
So talk to me about Liam just quick firstly. Obviously he's moving up weight, fighting for a title. He's probably maybe a win or two away just from going pro now. Does that seem a bit crazy to you in your head?
Yeah, it is crazy because when Liam first came, Liam trained as a kid, and then when I first started going out with his sister, he would have been about 11 or 12, and then he come and joined the gym with me. I remember driving him back and forth to the gym with me every day, and he was just a little kid, playing Fortnite and in school, and now to see where he is now is crazy. I've literally watched him in front of my eyes go from a boy to a man in terms of not just as an adult kid to an adult, but in terms of fighting as well. I've watched his first headshot fight. I remember watching him in BJJ comps. Now, as you said, he's arguably for me the best amateur in Wales, pound for pound, through all the weight classes. He's definitely the best featherweight in Wales. And I believe tonight he'll show he's the best lightweight in Wales. If he wins both belts, I think there's not nothing left from an amateur. I think his style is suited to the IMAF. I think he's got his heart set on going pro. We are ready for him to turn pro, so I think that's what we'll see next. You win 2 belts in this promotion, that's what's going to come next. Physically, he's got everything athletically that I never had as a fighter. He's physically always in shape, he's athletic, he's big and strong, and now at lightweight, he had a death squeeze at feather when he was walking around at 70 kilo. Now he's walking around at 75. He's even bigger and stronger again. He's frightening what he can do. If he puts his head to it, keeps going the way he is, commits himself fully like I keep telling him to, and he does, then he's got all the tools to be in the UFC or PFL, wherever he wants to go. Obviously, a lot more goes into it. You need a bit of rubber green. You need the right place at the right time sometimes. But he's got everything you want as a coach and a fighter. You know, he's athletically gifted, puts the work in, and he's a game day player. You know, I've seen so many guys in the gym. Are brilliant in the gym, can't do it under the lights. Just seem to crumble. Don't know what it is. He's very much a game day player where sometimes he may not have the best night in the gym, but I never worry about getting to fight night and him not turning up. Win or lose, I know he's going to go out there and he will always put on his best performance under the lights rather than in the gym. And you know, what more can you want from a guy? I got ambitions and I hope for him, and I know it's what he wants to do. He wants to do this for a living. So tonight, hopefully, another step in that direction.
100%. And like I said, I could ask about all the guys fighting tonight, but I'll just narrow it down. And even just to get a couple of lines on him, just because it's his pro debut tonight, I've got to ask quickly about Kane. Pro debut. It seemed like this, like it had to be tonight, as in, there was nothing else he could do amateur. There was nothing else.
No, I mean, he's fought them all at amateur. Okay, I think he's on a 5-fight win streak at amateur. You look at his losses, I think every one of those guys pretty much are now pro and doing big things as pros as well in the PFL and we have your Cage Warriors. He's ready for the pro ranks. I think his style is better suited to the pro ranks, and you know, I still keep my hand in and do a bit of sparring with the boys, and he's been roughing me up for weeks, to be honest. So I feel sorry for his opponent. There's one thing being underneath him for 3 minutes and having him drop punches on you. It's another thing being under him for 5 minutes when he can drop elbows on you. He's fighting experience, older head, but I just think Kane's one of the best fighters we got in Wales. He just flies under the radar a little bit because he's not brash, he's not outspoken, he doesn't like to do interviews, he doesn't like the limelight, but he loves to fight, and I'm looking forward to the start of his pro journey tonight.
100%. And just lastly, obviously, coaching's what's going on at the minute. Is that now the long-term future? Is coaching what you're doing going forward?
Yeah, just coaching. I mean, obviously still training myself, do a little bit of sparring just to help the boys. Like Brett's fight now coming up, he'll kick me in respect for another 12 weeks just to help him out. I'll jump in, do some MMA, but you know, I don't like to take too many shots to the head. Do a lot of jiu-jitsu, a lot of wrestling.
I was going to say, could we see you doing maybe some like BJJ
maybe,
comps?
Yeah, maybe. I've toyed with the idea. I've had a couple of offers for Polaris and Tanto and stuff like that, but you know, I'm not going to do it unless I've got that urge to do it. You know, at the minute, I haven't got the urge to go and compete.
Which is why you retired.
Which is why I retired. Yeah, you know, I haven't got the urge to go and compete. Mate, if that does come about, then I'll look at it. But at the minute, I'm just happy doing what I'm doing. Doing the Cardiff half marathon tomorrow, so it's nice to have something to aim for in terms of that. A little bit of competition. Not I'm going to fucking win it by any means, but yeah, if I have the urge, I'll jump in there and do a grappling comp or something. But right now, I'm just happy doing what I'm doing. All money talk. So if a grappling tournament want to offer me a couple of grand to jump in and do it, give me a bell and I'll do it.
Love that. Jack, thanks for talking to me. Appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your night.